Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. In this video we are going to take a look at how we can beat the Bond of Master and Disciple Infinite Dragon Ball History stage with a Entrusted Will team. So there is a mission that's up for you to beat the stage with an Entrusted Will team. There was a mission to obviously do the Siblings Bond and Entrusted Will, but yeah, Entrusted Will wasn't out at the time. So if you need to see how to do Siblings Bond, you can see it linked up in the top right hand corner. Of course, this is the Entrusted Will stage. So this one we're going to be taking on with a slightly different team, and we'll be talking through those units now. So in terms of build, it's something pretty interesting to go with, or well, a pretty interesting build I should say. As our leader, we're utilizing the Tech Trunks, so that is the Resilient Will to protect the future, the Transforming Trunks, and obviously he is an attack and defense 100% unit, and then when he transforms he slowly begins to gain 10% attack and defense every turn, whilst also stacking attack and defense every single turn. So he's a nice lead because he's a Future Saga lead. A lot of our team is from the Future Saga, but also he is a super class 120% lead. So a unit like this Gohan is a unit that we're able to utilize quite well. Speaking of this Gohan, Gohan is under the Entrusted Will category, so he's going to be receiving the full benefit of our friend lead. This Ella Gohan, pretty much just great. He's just an augmented version of this Transforming Trunks, essentially with LR stats. He raises his defense, he has attack and defense of 100%, and gains an additional 10% every single turn up to a max of 70%. He can transform, but we won't be able to proc the transformation because we do not have an Android category character on the team. So that is one thing, but he's still very good. Also raises his defense permanently, or will indefinitely. So yeah, just a very nice pickup from that aspect. Both the Trunks and the Gohan are on Entrusted Will, so they're going to be filling in those slots on the team. Remember, you have to have 3 Entrusted Will category characters on the team, so they're really going to help us out there. Our third Entrusted Will category character from our side is the Humanity's Hope Tech Super Saiyan Trunks. I have done a review on this unit, you can see it on my channel. I will be putting the review up there in the top right hand corner if you want to see him in a bit more action, but this will be plenty of action, so stick around if you do want to take a look at him anyway. He has attack and defense of 80% with an additional attack of 80% when performing a super attack. He also has an additional attack and defense of 80% when facing only one enemy, and he also raises his attack and defense for a total of 6 turns. So he's going to be quite good defensively. I do have 3 dupes in this unit, so he's not, I mean, the review I did was with him at 55%, so he's obviously a lot better. And he is our third Entrusted Will category unit. He's also in the Future Saga category, so he'll be running under both leads, under a full double lead there. Then we've filled up the rest of the team with a bit of an interesting build. So we've gone for obviously across Future Saga / Android and Cell Saga for the remaining units. So if you take a look there, we've got the Gohan and the Trunks Future LR. One of my favorite LRs, very strong, very powerful unit with attack and defense of 150%. They also change random key spheres to AGL. They gain an additional 58% defense, and they gain an additional chance of performing a crit and damage reduction with 5 or more key spheres obtained. They also gain additional reduction with 5 or more AGL key spheres obtained, and if you get 8 AGL or just 8 orbs in general, you will also get them to proc an additional super attack. So they're a very good unit. Obviously we have the revive skill, and we have that to utilize if we need to as well. We also have, of course, another Entrusted Will category unit, which is great. We have the Strength Super Saiyan Trunks team, the one from the Broly movie, who is pretty good. Obviously he's going to pair up with our Gohan. So this Trunks is an attack and defense 200% unit with a hybrid Saiyan support of 40% and 3 ki. He also has a medium chance of launching an additional super attack, which is pretty good. On his unit super attack, he essentially raises his defense indefinitely, much like Gohan. So because the LR Gohan procs his super attack effect, he is basically going to be able to fire off his unit super attack, which is really good. And that means he's going to be able to constantly increase his defense, which just makes him very good. So he does require a Gohan youth to be attacking the same turn, but obviously the LR makes up for that quite easily. So very good. Nice little combo that we're running there with him. And then the final 2 units that we are going to be utilizing. So we'll talk about Gohan first. Obviously we're using the physical Gohan. We're using the physical Future Saga category lead Gohan, who is 170% Future Saga lead, but also has 158% attack, raises his defense by up to another 158% depending on your health, reduces damage received by 30% and gains 7% damage reduction every turn up to a max of 28%, meaning in total he has 58% damage reduction. He also gains an additional 120% and a medium chance of performing a crit when there's a Future Saga category ally whose name includes Trunks attacking in the same turn. So he's going to be quite powerful, quite useful to utilize. His damage reduction is going to make him an absolute beast. He raises his attack and defense, or greatly raises them on one turn, which is really good. And yeah, he just does a lot of really good work. So very nice selection, very good unit to utilize, very strong defensively. And then to round out the team as the friend lead, we have chosen this, perfect timing, AGL Trunks, transforming one. So we'll just let him transform. So pretty cool. They did take the Z Fighters animation, which is okay, but I mean I would have preferred the Trunks lifting the bodies, but I guess it would have been a bit weird, but I really like that transformation. So yeah, we've got that AGL Trunks. So in his base form, he has attack and defense of 100%, with an additional attack and defense of 100% when attacking. Great chance of launching up to 2 additional attacks, and then launches a super attack if he does launch those 2 additional attacks, which is pretty great. Raises his defense every single time as well. And then of course he can also transform, and in his transformation he has a great chance of performing a critical hit, 100% attack and defense, gains another 100% attack and defense when performing a super attack, and then gains a whole bunch of additional attacks depending on the status that the opposition is in, which is really good. So yeah, pretty awesome, pretty nice unit, pretty nice team. Was a very easy run, wasn't distinctly difficult at all. Obviously I have quite a few dupes in some of these units, but overall the team, I mean without dupes this team would be fine. It's a very defensively sound team, but it's still quite strong offensively. This Gohan does an incredible amount of damage, even with being under 120% lead. Very strong unit. This Trunks, decent damage, only 2 million, but very powerful defensively. Also just beefs up the rest of his team like by a long way. And yeah, just a very strong team. This physical Gohan, super powerful, very strong unit, great defensively, does a huge amount of damage, and just brings a lot to the table. The Gohan and Trunks unit, the LR, also even at 55%, great damage, especially once they transform. We're looking at 5 million, 6 million attack stats. Just very powerful unit, very strong. So yeah, for the most part, honestly, super happy with how they've done, super happy with how this team performed, and yeah, everything was just more than fine. The event itself, obviously we've gone through the event before in the previous video, but yeah, just to recover everything, like obviously there is, you know, this Whis, not necessarily too like difficult or anything like that, but he does obviously have a chance to evade, which is something that's quite, yeah, can be frustrating. Usually the Infinite Dragon Ball histories aren't anything like the, you know, LR Goku events and stuff like that, or sorry, the LGE and stuff like that. So it's very difficult to say that it'll be irritating, but you shouldn't really struggle with it too much. You can't stun Whis, you can't lower his attack, you can't lower his defense, you can't seal him. He can evade your attacks, and he also disables evasion, which is, you know, something that's a little bit irritating if your team so far has relied on evasion. Something like a Universe 6 team, which has very strong units, but that has very evasion-centric units, obviously is maybe something you don't want to bring into this event, just considering that they might, you know, take a bit of damage from Whis. That being said, honestly, not too big an issue. Again, he can seal us as well, but it's not like something that's going to cause us huge concern with this specific team build. It might cause you concern with another team build, but for this specific team build, it's really not going to affect us that much at all. So yeah, it's just one of those things. We obviously clear out Whis, and then that only leaves us with Beerus. Beerus has a little bit of a type advantage, obviously, against our LR Gohan. Not a big concern. Gohan's defense is very, very high. We will activate an item just to help get us through, but I don't really think it was entirely needed. Pretty straightforward, really. Like, I mean, you don't need to run the most incredible teams for these stages, you know. You don't need to run like the most ridiculous teams. Overall, I just think it's pretty straightforward. That being said, you know, Beerus is immune to stunning, you know, he's immune to sealing, attack lowering, defense lowering. He can evade you, but he doesn't seal, but he does definitely hit quite tough. He can hit pretty hard, not like super duper hard, but he can definitely hit pretty hard. Luckily, this Trunks doing some great damage in return, which is always cool. As you can see, doing some very, very nice damage, which is great. And yeah, we've still got our revive skill. We've still got plenty, you know, of mechanics that we can utilize to kind of improve our performance. This Trunks will be more than fine. Hopefully, he can get some crits off, do some good damage. I think, unfortunately, the AGL Trunks got kited the most. Got quite a bit of evasion going on. Beerus can lower your defense with his super attack, which is quite irritating. It can make follow-up normal attacks quite intense, but this team itself is generally quite fine. The damage reduction that we have is generally okay. It's, you know, enough to really prevent big follow-up damage, and yeah, we just don't really struggle too much, to be honest with you. Beerus getting some really nice evasions for himself. Not really great for us, slowing us down. Trunks over here also getting evaded, not really great. Trunks does great damage, kind of has to hit people to do that damage, so it's a bit difficult to say. In terms here, obviously we got, you know, 500k defense, which is pretty solid. I don't know how concerned to be regarding his attack damage with a 500,000 defense unit. There are events apparently that will cause issues for situations like this, but I mean, it is what it is. Like at this stage, this event I don't think is a big concern for us. We do have plenty of items active as well. Transform Trunks, just for the sake of seeing his transformation skill, always seems to do the wrong orbs. Never really had it do the right orbs, which is a little bit annoying, but you know, it is what it is. So yeah, their strength Trunks doing some good damage. Defense also really, really high, really, really solid. We'll see how much damage he takes here. Can't imagine it being too much. 158k, really nothing too crazy. So yeah, overall I think it was a decent run. I don't think you need the Entrusted Will category Trunks to run this. You have a lot of options, especially on the Future Saga. You have plenty of options to run this team under. So, like, it is, how do I say, like, I just don't think it's necessary to have the lead. Obviously, he does help, and he does do some great damage, and he is a fantastic unit, but you don't need it. It's not, needed at all. I am going to be using the active skill because it's freaking awesome. So we're just going to let that happen. And yeah, for me, yeah, honestly, like, it's just a very good, like, time. It's a very, very nice event. This Bond of Master and Disciple one was really a lot of fun. I did quite enjoy it. Also enjoyed the category challenges. Siblings Bond was quite a lot of fun. Entrusted Will was also quite a lot of fun. Was pretty cool. So yeah, for me, I don't know, just really, really enjoyed it, and I've really had a good time. And yeah, honestly, wasn't too hard. I think you've got a lot of options to complete both Siblings Bond and Trunks. And I think, with the Vegeta's family, you could probably do both at the same time. So yeah, I'll probably start doing something like free-to-play Infinite Dragon Ball history builds and stuff like that. We intentionally died, by the way, for the revive skill. Maybe I'll do stuff like that. I did start doing them, like ways to complete both challenges at once, with pretty much only free-to-play units and stuff like that. It's not something I'm attached to doing. It is just takes a lot of time. It takes like a lot of time to do those videos because you have to film each like individual part, and you have to kind of like rewind it and edit it and do a lot of stuff. So I'll think about it. I'll definitely contemplate doing it. It'll be some good good help for people, I think, and yeah, overall just a really cool thing. But yeah, I think having this team, everything ran perfectly fine, and yeah, Trunks will finish us off there, which for me is fantastic. So that's going to be it from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like on the video, and if you have any queries, leave a comment and I'll try and get back to you. But I think that is going to be it from me. So as always, guys, stay safe, take care, and I will see you in the next video. But until then, take care and bye.